Iowa couldn't even like you at one of their meetings. Just thought I'd let you know. I gotta get hold of Paul Weber too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Has,
Try to get,
and I guess we can talk about the comments, but I guess my question would be, is it before the county? Or are they trying to change their zone?
No,
Ahead of time?
they're just trying to be a step ahead of the program.
Yeah.
It hasn't even come to P&E yet.
No, but hey, anybody think?
Okay. 'Twas the
Still got it.
Thursday the 14th, and we have 1 minute.
The hour of 7 is upon us.
Yes.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I know it's not scheduled anything in December, it was just a crazy holidays, but January through April planned.
7.
I missed my goal at TOI by 2 cents.
Okay, let's call the December 14th McHenry Township monthly regular meeting to order at 7 p.m. If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay, will the clerk call the roll, please?
Supervisor Barlow.
I am here.
Trustees Shaver,
Here.
Yeager,
Here.
Macredo,
Here.
Bendenagle.
She is absent. Okay, I did not see anybody signed up for public comment. You were on the sign-in sheet. Would you like to speak?
Sure, I did sign the other one.
Oh, did you? I only saw,
I'm good to be missed.
Yep.
A couple quick things. One, the FYI, make you guys aware of. Next Tuesday at our board meeting, there's going to be a resolution that's going to be on our agenda to approve or disapprove, and that's to have a referendum in the spring on the ballot to have a tax levy or a sales tax to fund the mental health. And that would alleviate about $11 million out of our levy, so we wouldn't have to fund that from the county budget, which we would be able to have more power to reduce our levy on the property tax for the taxpayers. The tax would be 0.25% on $100 spent. You know, if you spend 100, you're going to pay 25 cents on that $100. So that'll be on our agenda. I believe it's 16B 2.5 for our agenda. And then I know that the township does go up into Ringwood. Western broadband expansion state and federal funding map changes. The state is going to open up a 14-day window where we at the county are trying to expand broadband cable to west and northwestern areas. The state does have a map where, you know, it shows, hey, you've got good signal and you got high speed and you don't and whatnot. The gentleman's name, let me get it.
Mike Towler.
Adam M. Letender at the county can guide you to where the map is. And I know that Ringwood, even though this isn't their main thrust, you know, it's to go out west and north, but they're able, if they can show that you in an area that aren't up to the speed as what is listed on the map, they can take the screenshots and whatnot, use that, and when the state opens up the window to, you know, submit those complaints that, hey, you're saying that we're good to go, but really it's not. And Ringwood, I know, has a lot of dead areas in it, if it even works. So I just wanted to bring that up and point it out.
Is that just for cable television, or is that internet, or what is it referring to?
The whole gamut, you know. And his number is 815-334-4217. So if you can, want to reach out to him and ask him where that site is. I believe he was going to have a link at the county, so you can see, if you have constituents in that area that are having a problem, please, because the window is going to be short, to tell folks downstate, hey, we have a problem, and that's, to release some funding to get that, get the communication going. And that's all I got.
Carl, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Who's going to administrate that tax?
That'll be sales tax.
Who's going to administer it? The state?
Yeah. And I've also had a couple constituents ask, hey, you raised the gas tax without anybody, wanting a referendum, and here you wanting to put a referendum on. The two differences between the two, the one for the mental health that put this on the ballot for a referendum, it's a new tax. The fuel tax has been there and it's regulated by the state. We have not asked for an increase in the sales tax or the motor fuel tax in a long time. So here, the transportation, this is the first in many years that they've ever asked for an increase. So it's the state laws and codes and however they figure it, but we do have the option to do that, and we haven't taken advantage of it.
You just said MFT. Are you planning on raising the MFT in the county?
The sales tax on motor fuel,
sales,
yeah.
But
and that was to keep us from having to add more,
so
to
it's
the
just
levy.
a sales tax. It's not an additional
Right.
motor fuel tax.
Right, but it's already been there, and it's been by the state. We haven't taken the opportunity to raise it all these years. So we've had the opportunity to do it, we just haven't done it.
Right, but you're raising it on everything, not specifically.
Two different
There's two different.
Motor fuel tax is different than the first one.
Yeah, I realize that. So
Okay.
so that's two taxes you're raising.
correct.
A sales tax and
Well,
MFT.
we're doing what all elected officials do, put it to the people.
But you're not answering me. Is it just sales tax only, or is it sales tax and motor fuel tax?
It'll be motor fuel, that's a go. The sales tax and the frequent asked questions will be on the county's website. One of them is food, medical, and one other item that is going to be taboo. You're not going to be taxed on that. It's other goods and services that you pay, and it'll be a 0.25% of 100. But we're putting it to the people and letting the citizens decide if they want to pay for mental health through sales tax or just on their property tax. If we do it by the sales tax, I think the number came into about 15 million versus the 11 million now that's being levied on the property tax.
Mark, are you asking if that's gonna be charged on motor fuel as
Well,
well?
I already know that they're gonna charge that on gasoline. But I'm asking if
It's
there's
not
gonna be
going
an
towards the
additional
local.
gasoline tax besides sales tax going up.
Yeah, they won't cover it to the township is what.
What is it?
Because Jim Conley gets some of that money for it.
Correct.
Right, but the MFT
But
is
that's-
gonna go to the
right.
townships as well.
Yeah, there's a percentage of,
The
Yeah,
sales
there's a
tax doesn't go
percentage.
to the townships.
Correct.
Just the MFT would.
Correct.
Sales tax would just go to the county only.
to the directly to the mental health board. If the folks want
Mental health
to.
board is looking to get more money.
Right, I understand that. All I'm asking is there going to be an additional tax on top of what the sales tax is on fuel.
Oh, okay, so.
That's what I thought, so,
So
It'll
are
be a
you
separate
asking,
sales
so
tax.
motor fuel tax is going up, he's asking if this new sales tax will be included on gasoline? Or will
No,
that be
it's gonna
excluded?
separate
I,
sales
it'd
tax.
be separate.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
So
That
when
was
you
your
get your
question.
receipt now, it'll show it as a separate sales tax,
All right.
So there won't be,
if it's approved.
The language that'll actually be, if it's passed, put forth to the citizens. To pay for mental health purposes, shall McHenry County be authorized to impose an increase on its share of local sales tax by 1/4% and discontinue the current property levy funding mental health services and the mental health board. This would mean that the consumer would pay an additional 25 cents in sales tax for every $100 of tangible personal property bought at retail. This sales tax would take effect July 1st, 2024. This would remove the almost $10,975,000 from the property tax levy allocated for the mental health board effective November 30th, 2024.
So to confirm in that language, they're saying we're not going to reallocate the funds that are currently coming in from the mental health tax on the property taxes. We're going to actually reduce the levy by that amount and trade that for the sales tax. So
In time, you're correct.
okay.
So there's
For the stopgap, they're gonna have about 5 months.
Yeah.
So from a global perspective, the state has also realized that you can no longer fund everything off the back of the real estate tax.
Correct.
So what the county is trying to do is give the homeowners or the property owners some relief by funding mental health through sales tax.
Well,
They're
actually-
gonna- and discontinue this levy. So
Totally
they're trying
makes-
to do, it makes sense, but to a point.
I think it makes sense because there are a lot of people that shop out here that don't live here, and that sales tax will be collected on those folks, not just the people that live here. So the people that live here will see the savings eventually, and part of it will be funded by people who just come to the county.
And take the burden off fixed income, residents.
Well,
That-
you're trading the burden because someone
Not
who's
if
on a
you're-
fixed
if
income,
it's a
whose
no
taxes
sales
go up at
tax.
the grocery store or buying anything,
But it's 25 cents on $100.
correct?
And so, you have
Depending on
folks
what
that
they
are on a fixed income that can't afford to have their property tax
Because
or
it's not-
doesn't use the
It's
service.
not gonna be on the stable.
Yeah.
Passes around.
Is there
But
any
you were
sort
right,
of-
there'll be like 5 months that both of these will be
Sure,
implemented, but one will drop off,
Yeah.
which will see a reduction, fight like hell to make sure it happens, a reduction in the portion of the county's tax levy on your property tax.
Has anybody done the calculation to figure out on average what a normal homeowner might save if that amount of the levy is decreased?
To my knowledge, I'm sure the bean counter there at the county has. Have I seen it? No.
So you said it's next Tuesday,
That is the vote
the
on
discussion,
this.
or your vote?
Correct.
So the documentation that you've seen as a county board member, is that available to the public?
Yes,
Or
sir.
you- Yeah, okay.
It's on the web right
It's on
now.
the web right now, okay. That's what I wanted to ask. I wanted to take a peek at it myself.
Yeah, you would go to the portal,
Yep,
look for the Tuesday meeting coming up, the HTML
Yeah.
link, and then you'll see a little paper clip that you'll be able to see the resolution. And I'm sure this language has been updated on the one that was currently there this morning.
but all of the information like Adam is looking for, the numbers, is that out there? I guess my question,
I
Carl,
don't know.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
I do
at all.
not know.
What I'm trying to say is, you've obviously seen more information than is available to the public. So my question is, how do I get my hands on the numbers that you're making this, or going to have this discussion around to vote on a resolution?
I know that I forget her name, that does the
Yep.
counting, if you will,
Okay.
the CFO. She would have that, and I know Mr. Peter Austin and the finance chair, Mr. Sullick, had those numbers. And if this were to go in, somehow they grasp at by what's happened in the past when this percent have sales taxes gone in, they figured that it would generate, instead of 11 million that we have to fund now, we're looking at the neighborhood of 15 to 16 mil.
Sure, no, completely understand that, and mental health is an issue. I understand that, and I also understand the burden of real estate taxes on the homeowner, because I am one.
We all are.
Yeah, exactly. So, my line of questioning is more is trying to discover where I can find information to educate myself for that meeting on Tuesday. The background and the dollars and cents on essentially a tax swap.
There, I know that it was a lengthy and spirited debate in the finance,
Oh, finance committee?
Finance committee
Okay.
would have all that.
the last finance
They
committee.
would have to bring it to the board.
Okay, that's came out and that's what I was looking for. So,
And
was
that-
that the last month?
No,
ago?
I think it was just a few weeks ago.
Okay,
or
so
we-
it's probably in,
Weeks ago, yeah.
yeah, November's meeting.
And you'll be able to watch the video
Yep.
and see what's,
And their
up.
package should be online.
Yep. I'll go scoop it up and see what I
We're
can
really
find. We're learning. No, the meeting portal is pretty cool when I discovered it. You check it every morning. Is it a week in advance that all the documentation is available for a meeting typically? Or is it 4 or
This
5
Friday,
days?
it'll be a final go of whatever.
So it's 2 days advance notice?
Yeah.
Or no, it's just like
Should be
that.
48 hours.
It's
Okay,
48
it's
hours,
48 hours.
right?
You know, this was released last Friday, where we saw what the agenda for the cow meeting was today, but also had a link to the future meeting, which would be next Tuesday. And there I could see all the supporting documents and reports and whatnot. But this Friday will be the clean dump
Yep.
of what will be for Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm
They do multiple updates for their.
Yeah, that's it.
They're not like we are, no.
okay. Because I was out there, the meeting that I'll attend tomorrow is, and I was trying to figure out when the documentation for the meeting was going to be available, and it was 2 days ago, so it's 48 hours is when the backup material
Right.
arrived versus just the agenda. The agenda's out there way in advance.
Exactly.
Yep, okay.
And one item last for you trustees, you know, and to let your folks know, your supervisor is doing yeoman's work, trying to get your bus service to be able to help your constituents with other counties to have something that works for our area versus Crystal Lake or, you know, down south. But, you know, we're working together with our transportation, and the next time I have Pace for the CTA, you know, busing folks in, I'll give you an invite to see their presentation, because I
Are you gonna
know
give us
in
any money?
January they will. Pardon?
Are you gonna give us any money?
We're working on it, believe me, we are.
Your 3
The
minutes
20
was up
yeah.
15 minutes ago.
The advisory committee, Pete, what is it?
CPAC,
Not CPAC, the one that's here in the county that.
PTAC?
PTAC, that's it.
yeah.
They haven't published their list of 2024 meetings yet?
No.
Okay. That's what I'm looking for.
But when I get a heads up on one of them
Yeah.
giving a presentation, even Metro,
Yeah,
you know, I'll give you, but you can let your folks know that Gary has been doing yeoman's work, meeting with these people, trying to get our bus service to be more conducive to, you know, your clientele. And I'll shut up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
thank you, Carl, I appreciate the update. Okay, on to the approval of the minutes, 3.1 from the November 9th meeting. May I get a motion or a?
Well, I'll make a motion to discuss.
Okay, make a motion for discussion,
I'll second.
okay?
I went through them.
Wait, all those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay, we got it.
I didn't see, I know it was a short meeting, but as part of the supervisor's report, I do remember a discussion on the bus services and the amount of monies that were going to be allocated to the different townships. That was the last meeting, was it not, Gary?
Well,
There was 3,
with
That's
this-
Hebron, McHenry,
Yeah.
and Richmond.
I'm just trying to think.
But
I
that
don't-
wasn't at the last meeting.
Yeah, I think it was October.
was that the
Yeah,
October meeting?
It was like in October.
Okay, my bad. That's the only question I have.
Okay. So, do we have a motion for possible action for approval of the meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, all those, any other discussion? As long as we're doing, I guess not. But all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No nays. Motion passes. Okay, 3.2, the approval of McHenry Township and General Assistance Tax Levy minutes from November 9th. Discussion and possible action. I'll make a motion to approve them.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? The only thing I noticed in there, and that was mine, is that before we post them out there, we need to make sure that the first page is at the top of the page. It is at the bottom. I got a little confused when I was reading it. So if we'll just
You
make
mean
sure.
on the,
Yeah,
on the PDF?
yeah, on the PDF.
I did not look at it.
Yeah, so when we post them, we need to make sure that they're sequentially
I will go over
correct.
that with Lauren, yes.
Okay. All those in favor of the meeting minutes from the
That one you need to do a roll call, because that has to do with.
Oh, we're spending money.
Supervisor Barla,
Yes.
trustees Shaver,
Yes.
Yeager,
Yes,
Macredo? Yes.
all ayes, motion. all ayes,
3.3, yep. 3.3 is the approval of Township General Road and Bridge permanent hard road tax levy.
I'll make a motion to discuss and/or approve.
second.
Okay. Adam and okay, any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the motion. All those in favor of the approval of the meeting
Do a
minutes?
roll call.
No, roll call. God.
Supervisor Barla,
Yes.
trustees Shaver,
Yes.
Yeager,
Yes,
Macredo,
Yes.
all ayes, motion carries.
Okay, motion for approval of receipts and bills for the town fund.
All right, I got that, what it looks like. We, the undersigned members of the Mchenry Township Board of Trustees, certify that we have this 14th day of December 2023 examined and audited the amounts due for the items specified in the claims attached and hereby authorized payments of same. Total reimbursements to be approved, $0. Total bills to be approved, $13,626.13. Total bills paid prior to audit, $36,836.86. Total to be approved, $50,462.99. Total receipts, $13,169.06. Make a motion that we approve and pay these bills.
I'll second the motion.
The clerk call the roll if there's no discussion. Hearing no discussion, will the clerk call the roll?
Supervisor Barla,
Yes.
trustees Shaver,
Yes.
Yeager,
yes,
Macredo,
Yes.
all ayes, motion carries.
Okay, motion for approval and receipts for the General Road and Bridge Fund.
we, the undersigned members of the McHenry Township Board of Trustees, certify that we have on this day, this 14th day of December 2023, examined and audited amounts due for the items specified in the claims attached and hereby authorized payments of the same. Total reimbursements to be approved, $0. Total bills to be approved, $51,632.21. Total bills paid prior to audit, $14,092.97. Total to be approved, $65,725.18. Total receipts, $7,101.07. I make a motion that we pay these bills.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on any of those? Discussion? Not hearing any. Will the clerk call the roll for approval?
Supervisor Barla,
Yes.
trustees Shaver,
Yes.
Yeager,
Yes,
Yes.
Macredo, all ayes, motion carries.
Okay, motion for the approval of receipts and bills for permanent hard road.
We, the undersigned members of the McHenry Township Board of Trustees, certify that we have this 14th day of December 2023 examined and audited amounts due for the items specified in the claims attached and hereby authorize the payment of the same. Total reimbursements to be approved, none. Total bills to be approved, $7,692.32. Total bills paid prior to audit, $28,457.34. Total to be approved, $36,149.66. Total receipts, $17,159.75. Make a motion to approve the receipts and bills for Permanent High Road.
Any discussion? Any discussion?
Second.
Oh,
Second.
who's- Adam?
Adam.
Yeah. Any discussion? No discussion, will the clerk call the roll for approval?
Supervisor Barla,
Yes.
trustees Shaver,
Yes.
Yeager,
Yes.
Credo,
Yes.
all ayes, motion carries.
Okay, item 6 is new business, announcements on the payroll for GA. I'm gonna ask staff to explain that. Would Debbie just kind of let them know what's going on?
I mean,
On
item
6, you mean on number 8?
eight. Item eight.
Oh, fund transfer, item 8, I'm sorry. Fund transfer, there isn't one, I
Okay.
bypassed that, so we're on 8.0. Yes, new business, announcement of the payroll for GA.
Number 8, the payment level for GA for the ongoing monthly grant has been increased to a minimum of $425 a month. We will make that effective January 1st, 2024. They do redo the payment level every October. We got late notice this year, and because of when I got the notice was when we were in TOI down in November. I'll just make it effective January 1st, since I can't make it for December. That's pretty much it.
How much of an increase is that, Deb?
Pardon me?
How much of an increase is that?
So it was, what, $325? I think it's
I
$100
think it's $100.
a month per grant.
Does that affect the way we divide the money up in GA?
What do you mean?
That whole discussion we had last year,
This is GA, so,
This is the ongoing monthly grant, so it has nothing
nothing
to do with the.
okay.
yeah, there's,
Right.
yeah, it has nothing to do with.
One
the
has
emergency.
nothing to
Yeah,
do with the other.
emergency assistance, okay.
Right, we separate it.
Okay. Apparently number 9 disappeared off the agenda. So,
Yeah, I
that's,
see that.
Yeah.
It got missed somehow.
yeah.
Was there a number 9?
I don't remember what.
The
typical-
numbering went off
Yeah,
for
the
some
numbering
reason. I don't know why.
Old business.
Yeah, new business, old business is 10. Is there any old business for discussion? There's none on the agenda?
No.
Any
The only thing in old business that I'm gonna bring up is that we had the gravel pit people here 3 meetings ago, roughly.
Yeah,
They're gonna start meeting on a regular basis. They met last night at Whispering Hills, I was there. They're starting to get pretty serious about it. They're talking about hiring a lawyer, blah, blah, blah. I really don't know where it's headed. I'm just letting you know that the group is meeting on a regular basis again, for now.
so,
Yeah, it doesn't really affect us at this
That
point.
should be under board member comments.
it's
Yeah, it's got
reoccurring, it's
nothing to do
okay.
with.
Okay, I'll retract that.
Well,
yes,
no, you can
we'll
keep
just-
it. I'm just saying it,
Yeah.
there's really nothing to do with it.
Any proposed agenda items for next meeting? If you come up with any, if you would please send them to myself. I will get them onto the agenda. At least give me a few days. So that would be appreciated. You guys have seen, going on to the next one, the supervisor report. Any questions on the supervisor's report?
Any updates on the bus?
Yeah, so I don't have my report. Yeah, as far as buses go, the update on that senior services grant is, the county grant commission is getting together tomorrow, and they're going to reallocate what they put into a contingency fund for senior transportation. So what happened internally at the county, the transportation department went to Pace to see if they could get some funding on our behalf, and Pace declined. So they reverted back to the senior services grants for funding. What I do know is that the county is looking for other avenues to fund senior transportation in the future. So the only other thing that's going on is Spring Grove, Burton, and the Village of Hebron and ourselves still continue to meet and discuss a potential northeast transportation district up here on how we're going to help each other. So, for instance, the Village of Hebron has lost transportation to get their group from the village hall to the grocery stores one time a week. So I'm assuming that I'm going to click clarification tomorrow that this grant that they give to Hebron, or I don't know how they're going to give this out, if the expectation is going to be to give it to one entity and then we divide it up through intergovernmental agreement, and we got a lot of work to do to figure out how we're going to transfer the money amongst the 3 of us or 4 of us to run whatever program. Bottom line is our goal first out of the chute is to work together to figure out how to get Hebron that 1 bus route back once a week, because they have folks that need to get to food. Then the goal over the next year is how do we get Hebron to 3 times a week, along with continued planning on and working with the county on the idea as to how to foster better service in this area, whether it's through increase in our programs or teaching other folks how to do it to provide the same level of service is what I'm getting. So that's where we are. Is tomorrow I'll know a little bit more. I won't know much more because they're just, I think their agenda is mainly talking about the allocation of funds.
Well, as you know, we have a large contingency of our people that are behind the senior bus, and I know you're well aware of that. Any thoughts of maybe having public meetings to discuss the future of the senior bus program?
We're going to continue to fund our senior bus program internally if we have to,
Okay.
because that's been the direction through the non-binding referendum back in 2019.
Correct.
So we'll have to figure out a way to continue that because they want to see that. So
That's
that,
my brother.
yeah, there's no, I'm not looking at or working on any plans to pull back. I'll tell you, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, all of our days are full. Our buses are running
Sure.
full. And what I heard last night is that the bus services around the county are full. So there's definitely a huge need for transportation out here in the county. And we're unique is that, and at the meeting last night that I was at, and talking to some of the other village presidents and city mayors and things of that nature, is that Pace and McBride do a great job in high density areas. They totally understand our issue out here, and they're willing to voice that opinion on our behalf too, is that we need help with transportation. I mean, until inevitably this will build out eventually, whether I'm here or not to see it, it's going to be one thing.
So,
Yes.
I just have a totally random question.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be looking at this completely askew, but just to recollect my understanding, this grant that we've gotten previously, it's been expressed that potentially in the future it's not going to happen again, right? Like this is last year we're going to get it.
Unless they can find an alternative. Well, I don't know that to be 100%. That's my gut that I
Yeah.
expressed to you.
Yeah.
Now, the county is working internally to figure out alternative funding streams.
Okay.
Meaning, can they take it from the county transportation department rather than from the senior services grant committee?
Totally
money?
understand.
That's,
So like, here's the, is it totally silly if question.
yeah.
Could the county explore some type of very small sales tax increase, like what Mr. Kaminsky brought up tonight about the mental health thing, as a possible future funding source? And it would be like incremental compared to obviously what they're looking at for the mental health, because we don't need to raise $15 million, but 0.05%, 0.03%, that could raise a lot of money and not put the extra burden on property taxes. It's just a question.
Adam, are you aware that as a board, we can't put that question on the ballot?
But it would,
I'm not saying we should, I'm just saying, as a board, we can't put that question on the ballot.
but then it would have just impacted township sales taxes, correct?
Correct.
But I'm saying if we did it countywide,
Well,
then
that's-
that money
that's
could
a
be
different-
essentially
that's a
diverted.
different issue.
different animal.
Yeah, it's a different animal. That's
Either
exactly-
way, I'm
that's
saying
a
it's just,
different
it's an
animal.
option to tax it that way versus to raise a levy or change our property tax levy. And it may, again, because there's more people that shop here, maybe that don't live here, that's a way to not have our own constituents.
The bus service is needed more here for seniors than, let's say, there's a meeting in Crystal Lake.
Totally.
Just because of the
Totally agree.
roads, so that's,
Yeah.
so I don't know if that should be a county issue or just a specific township.
I didn't realize that we could impose a sales tax.
I wouldn't call it a sales tax, but
That's what I'm saying. Well, it would be as,
we're on the same page.
yeah. Carl.
Question for you that may be able to be helpful for your answer.
Yeah.
How this came about, there was a gentleman from, talking about the mental health tax.
Yeah.
Gentleman from Kane County, and he has a lot to do with the mental health down there, and brought this idea to us at the county board. Working, I know the folks with finance and mental health, like a swarm of bees, to pick his brain and see how they did it. So I'm kind of like taking that template, if maybe, you know, the trustees can find out if there's other townships that have figured a way to help fund their bus transportation that may be in the direction that you're talking about.
Sure.
But you got the ABC, here's how, you know, we can do it. And I don't know how that may work with PACE. Is it that's kind of governing your buses a little bit?
They give us,
We rent buses.
yeah, they rent us the buses relatively.
We lease buses from them, and they
buses
do
from
have
them.
some regulations we have to follow. with the
You know,
drivers
again,
and drivers.
you know, like, I know how they, oh, you're
Beth
making
is
money
one
there,
of
so
the
we're gonna take more from you.
Well, but didn't you say though that they rejected the
Talk to
request
me.
for additional funding for us, right?
Pardon me?
Didn't Carl say though that PACE rejected the request for additional funding, which is why it's not coming out of the contingency?
Chairman Altoff from the Senior Services Grant Committee, and also Scott Hennings from the Transportation Department, I believe, had a conversation that they reported out on in the transportation meeting, that they asked them for money and they declined.
Yeah. I think what Carl's getting at though is like if we, hypothetically, if there's a sales tax that funds some of the transportation, Carl, you saying, like, we would also have to figure out if that would then change the dynamic or the lease agreement with PACE for the reduced fee that we lease the buses.
Well, I don't know what, I don't,
It's just a question, I don't know, but I know that they can get finicky about things that you do.
Yeah. Anyway, it was just a totally, am I silly for looking at it this way question? It might be, it might not be, but it might be something to explore.
I think I have some homework to do on that, on a sales tax for township transportation. That's, I guess, the way I'll phrase it. is
Or
my
that,
homework.
that committee, what did you call the Northeast
That's just,
Transportation
that's just
Commission?
three governmental bodies talking to each other and gave
Yeah.
ourselves a label.
Well, but I mean, Hebron, for example, if they were able to enact something like that, even in their township, that could give them funding.
Yeah, I don't know where all their riders come from, but Hebron's a very small village.
Yeah.
I would assume that a couple of their riders are coming from the township, so I have to talk to
Yeah.
the township supervisor to get her to sign on to this project too. Okay. Assessors report.
There is none.
There was not one. The highway commissioners report, did you guys see that one?
Yeah.
Any questions that need to be taken back from him? Looks like there's, I was looking at the detailed maps, that looks like Commissioner Conan is doing a good job in finding money and repaving numerous amount of roads. He's doing a great job on that. I looked at that. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll move on. No executive session this evening. Any board member comments?
Already had mine. Sorry.
I don't have anything additional at this point.
Hunter?
Mr. Shaver?
Nothing else.
Nothing? Motion to adjourn, anybody?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Might be one of the fastest meetings ever.
Sorry, I
No,
talked so much,
40
you would have
minutes,
been out
that's not-
13 minutes sooner.
Now we're,
Carl, 3 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Between you and Gary being long-winded. Could have been on here at 7:10.